Hello, welcome to Wild About Nature again. Every time I say I'm locking it down for the year, the sun comes out. And as you can see, it's the end of November now. The garden's still growing. All the seedlings I put in are doing so well. So, you know, make hay while the sun shines. I thought I'd come out and do a bit more work. So you can see, as you know, I've got all this mud left over from taking out the old pond, which was basically bogged up with it. And I don't want to just throw it somewhere because it's full of iris and marsh marigold and lilies, and also a lot of mud which has organisms in it, and I don't want to kill anything really. So I had the liner left over from the pond, which is now a fiberglass pond, which is doing well. It's really coming along nicely. It's full up with water now. Everything's settling in, although it's winter, obviously not a lot's going to happen. But I thought it would be an ideal time to put in a little tiny bog garden along the leading edge here. So I've used the liner and cut a long strip, and I'll fill that with the mud from here, and then plant any plants that I have left over in. Hopefully anything that's trapped in there will then crawl its way out and go into the new pond. So, you know, it's a great idea if you've got any liner laying around. You can make a bog garden around any pond, you know, outside of the pond, and it creates that kind of secondary habitat that isn't quite open water, you know, like, but it's basically mud that stays wet all the time, and obviously some plants favour that, as do some organisms, and it's a great place for things to breed in that don't necessarily go straight into a pond. But have a look online about the nuances of bog gardens. To be honest, I'm not an expert, but this is kind of my idea of what a bog garden should be. And it's only tiny, like I say, it's about 8 foot long. But I had the liner, I had the mud, and it seems silly not to. So I'll fill it in and I'll catch up with you in a second. So there you go, I've kind of cut it off into shape now, because I was putting it underneath the lip of the pond. I had to leave a lot sort of left over the edge, and then as it filled up, it kind of tucked underneath. It was a little bit short in places, but actually it's come on fine. So I filled it with water first because that helped mould it to the contours of the hole, and then filled it with earth after that, and then this edge will be raked over that edge, and that'll be it. And then I'll fill it with plants, and hopefully in the new year we'll have a nice bog garden. So the next video, if the weather carries on as nice as it is, the next video will be this pond going in. I've done about 25 buckets, but trust me, 25 buckets in this ground, which has a flint on every scoop, every chop, every dig, every fork, has 2 or 3 flints and bricks and God knows what else. It's clay and chalk and flint basically, so an absolute ball ache to dig. But the next video I'll hopefully have that in, and then things will be taking shape. So thanks for watching. I won't say have a nice Christmas this time, because you're bound to see me next week. See you later.